Welcome to the Bravado Blitz for the week of October 5th. I'm Eric Shannon, this handsome young man.
I'm Brian Shows, and it's good to be back for another exciting week of Oklahoma high school football.
Yep, first week of October is here, and we're now in the third week of district play. So strap on your helmet and stick around because it's time for the Bravado Blitz once again. Welcome back, Blitz fans. We're coming into week 3 of district play and beginning to get a better idea of some of the teams in our coverage area. Last Friday night, we covered the Broken Bow Savages at Hilldale Hornets right here in Muskogee, and we got a better feel for the Savage team for sure, Brian.
And I think that Broken Bow is the real deal, Eric. They took it to Hilldale in every phase of the game, and here's the thing: the Savages picked them apart from the opening gun to the final horn. I think there's a good football team out there at Hilldale. And I think they're trying to find it in practice this week. And in my mind, they'll probably be a playoff team, but Broken Bow completely outplayed them up and down the field Friday night.
Yeah, I think it was kind of one of those perfect storms. Broken Bow, they played well from the very first snap. Hilldale didn't play well at all. And I do think Hilldale is a good football team, but like you said, I don't think they didn't play a very good game, and they've got to find themselves. But Broken Bow definitely showed where they belong in our power connection poll, and that'll come up a little bit later. But we're going to look at some of the highlights of the game from Friday night. First thing is, bad snap on the opening possession punt resulted in a Broken Bow touchdown. And Dawson Neighbors, he looked out of sync.
He looked out of sync after they ran that boot action from the get-go. Right, the very first play of the game was a bootleg. Mm-hmm. And it was a jailbreak for the Broken Bow defensive end, and he never looked in sync after that.
No, and I think he took some hits early because he missed some open wide receivers, and his throws were short. He looked like he wasn't there even on defense. He was taking some really bad angles, and he just didn't look like he was there. Hilldale defensively, the front seven played fairly well. But there's just way too many missed tackles. I mean, I would think they missed upwards of 30 tackles.
Yeah, we didn't count them, but that's a good guess.
Yeah, just bad angles, bad tackling. Now not to take away anything from Broken Bow. Owens, their quarterback, I think he was a lot stronger and a lot faster than what we anticipated.
Yeah, and I think Broken Bow going forward, I think that the other teams have seen some things on tape that maybe they can exploit, but that team's going to score. That quarterback's a handful.
Right, and he broke a lot of tackles, especially going down the sideline. But one thing, you and I talked about in the broadcast was I think maybe their only weakness we really saw is their secondary, Broken Bow.
That's a good front seven, man. Mm-hmm. They get after it. They get after the quarterback. They're real fundamentally sound in the run game. That
55 and that 58 or 54, those defensive ends, man, they were monsters.
Yeah, that 55, I think his name was Jones, man. He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was. They've got a good ball club. So, but the issues with Hilldale, I think everything is fixable. I think in practice this week, Coach Warner gets on them, and
as long as the kids respond well to what Warner's saying, the coaches are stressing probably pursuit angles, and they're probably a lot of getting back to fundamentals.
Right. And Coach Warner, he's a good ball coach. I mean,
he's been around the block.
He's been there. I mean, he's been coaching a long time, and he's had a lot of successful teams.
He can point to the other sideline and say, "Hey, that's a tradition-rich school. That's where we want to get to. So let's work on some things."
Yeah, most definitely. Well, moving on, we get to see some 5A action for a Bravado Wireless Game of the Week this week as the Class 5A number 5 ranked Tahlequah Tigers take on the number 2 ranked Collinsville Cardinals this Friday night at NSU's Doc Wadley Stadium. This one's shaping up to be a classic with these two unbeatens. It's number 2 versus number 5, and I can't wait to see these two teams squaring up.
Man, I'm excited as well, man. I hope we get a good game into the fourth quarter.
Right. We keep getting teams ranked closer and closer. So
Last week, the unbeaten Tigers traveled up the Skytook and won 14-7 over the 6th-ranked Bulldogs, a huge victory because the game was just a slugfest and there was no small feat to come out with a W. I really think this is going to be the good one.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see it Friday as well. So before we go too far in depth for the game of the week, we're going to check on teams in our coverage area, and we'll see where they're ranked according to our partners at OK Preps. Starting in Class 6A2, the Muskogee Roughers remain number 7 after beating Sand Springs 45-27 last week. A very good district win over the Sandites. This week, the Rovers travel to number 9, Sapulpa. This Friday night, and the Stillwater Pioneers remain number 1 with a 31-13 win over Midwest City.
In Class 5A, the Tahlequah Tigers moved up to number 5 after beating then number 9 Skiatook 14-7 last week. And as we talked about earlier, the Tigers will host the number 2 ranked Collinsville Cardinals Friday night, which will be our Bravado Game of the Week broadcast on BravadoTV.com. Carl Albert sits atop the 5A rankings after a 34-7 win over Piedmont Wildcats last week.
In Class 4A, we have a lot of teams in our area in this class. Hilldale drops out of the polls with that loss to Broken Bow. Looks to rebound this week as they travel to Salisal Friday night. Broken Bow stays at number 6 after the convincing 48-14 win over Hilldale. The Savages will host Stillwell this Friday night. Wagner remains at number 2 after they blank Grove 42-0 Friday night. The Bulldogs will host Miami this week, not to be confused with Miami.
No, never. Don't say that word on this broadcast.
No. Poto continues its reign at number 1 after a very convincing 43-6 win over Fort Gibson last week. And the Pirates will travel to Tulsa Central this week, which I do not envy Tulsa Central.
Nope. I thought maybe Fort Gibson had turned the corner last week with their win, but they'll need to get better if they want to get the Rock in a few weeks. It seems like they took a few steps back.
I think they did. I think the Tigers are still looking for their identity. And so I'll agree with you on that one. And Poto looks strong and should be a tough team to beat by anyone. I think Wagner may be another strong team in 4A, but
just reload.
Just reload. That's all they do.
Remember when they were just a basketball school?
Yeah, Wagner was just a basketball school about 20 years ago. And
yeah, when I first moved to this part of the country. Yep.
Yeah, look at them now.
Moving on to Class 3A, the Seminole Chieftains move up to number 3 after beating Lincoln Christian 50-31 last week. Seminole will travel down to Idabel this week to face the Warriors. Seminole has a chance to climb up in the rankings if they keep winning, because in a few weeks, number 1 and number 2, Kingfisher, will square off. The Chargers are currently ranked number 1 after they beat ranked John Marshall 27-20. And we'll see Idabel in a few weeks, as they'll be one of our feature games. Looking forward to that game as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one. Seminole, it'll be Idabel hosting Shakota then, right?
Yep.
Seminole definitely looked good in that monsoon we had it rolling 2 weeks ago. And
I'm still trying to dry out, man.
Yeah, I think I still have some gloves that are still soaked after that. But, get all the water out of our ears. Down in 2A, the Bakes Demons hold on to the number 3 ranking after 76-0.
76 points.
That's a lot of points. Beat down of Caney Valley. The Demons will travel to Dewey this week. The Vian Wolverines stay at number 2 after their 60-0 shutout as their win over Panama last week. And the Vian travels to Tahlequah Sequoia this week. And Oklahoma City Millwood Falcons stay at number 1 in Class 2A with a 44-22 win over Community Christian last week. So there's not a whole lot of movement in 2A. Top 9 didn't have much challenge this week. Haskell has a chance this week to pull an upset over 5-0 Victory Christian, so we'll see how that goes.
Those are 3 really, really good teams with state championship aspirations.
Right, and they hold a lot of finals and a lot of quarterfinals.
There's a lot of gold, man.
A lot of gold right there, a lot of gold and silver. In Class A, for the first time all season, one of our teams in our area has cracked the top 10, and that's the Gore Pirates. They come in at number 10 after edging the Hobart Riders 32-30 last week. The Pirates will travel to the Porter Pirates this week, and Morrison remains at the top of Class A, and they always seem to have a good squad. That's another one they just reload.
Yeah, seems a lot of teams from the western side of the state are dominating the rankings in Class A. Good to see Gore crack the list. You and I had thought Gore looked pretty good earlier in the year, and we had them in our power poll for a few weeks, and they just keep on winning.
Yeah, I mean, we had them in the power poll, and we had kind of a special feeling, and there they are. So,
yeah. Moving on to Class B, the 3-1 Keota Lions stay at number 9 after a 26-6 win over Wetumpka last week. This week, the Lions host Gans. The Dewar Dragons stay ranked at number 6 despite a 50-38 loss to number 4 Davenport. The Dragons will travel to Cave Springs this week, and the Shattuck Indians remain at the top of Class B. Man, that's a drive, getting to Cave Springs. Have you ever been to Cave Springs?
No, I've never been
there
there.
past Tahlequah? Man, that's something. Buddy.
That's a haul, right? See, I want to know how good this Davenport team is, because golly, if they beat Dewar 50-38, And
50. There's a lot of, again, we touched on this last week. There's a lot of points
a lot
scored.
of points, but everybody's running. I talked to Chad Kirkhart last week, the athletic director at Hilldale, and he said, so many teams now in the spread.
That hurry up stuff.
They spread the field so much, and you have to play one-on-one. So, because we were talking about how many points were being scored lately, and that's kind of what he attributes it to.
And the technology is such that you can isolate on film. It's like, hey, this is their weak point, and they keep going after it. Football coaches are smart, man. They find a weak point. They're going to keep doing it until you do it till they bleed.
Right. Yeah, until their nose is bleeding. They've got the iPads and got the TVs on sideline stuff. So that'll do it for our state rankings segment. For more information or a more in-depth look at the rankings, you can check out okpreps.com. And when we get back, we're going to hand it off to Demi, and she's going to check out some scores around the area, and then she'll present our very ever-popular Bravado Wireless Power of Connection poll for the week of October 5th.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines, because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back. I'm Demi Smith, and I'm pleased to present our Bravado Wireless Power of Connection poll for this week. Starting off in the 10th position is our newcomer to our poll, the Class 3A, 4, and 1 Idabel Warriors. Idabel traveled all the way to Tulsa to destroy Webster 70-12, and this earned them the 10th spot in our poll. Another new entry in our poll is Class 2A's Okemah Panthers. The Panthers demolished a decent Holdenville team, 70-32, to go 4-1 and earn the 9th position in our poll this week. Continuing their march up the poll is the 4-1 Gore Pirates, jumping up 2 spots to number 8 after slipping by the Riders 32-30. In the 7th slot is the Class 6A2 Muskogee Roughers. Muskogee climbs 1 spot after beating Sand Springs 45-27. The Vian Wolverines continue their dominance as they beat Panama 60-0 and claim the number 6 ranking. We are staying in Class 2A with the Beggs Demons. Beggs moves up to number 5 this week. The Demons dominated Caney Valley 70-0. At number 4 is Class 3A's Chakota Wildcats. The Wildcats beat Okmulgee 55-14 and takes Hilldale's place in the poll. At number 3 is the team who beat Hilldale, the Broken Bow Savages. A dominant victory against Hilldale keeps them at 3. The Class 5A Tahlequah Tigers remain at number 2. Tahlequah goes to 5-0 with the win against Skiatook. And the team atop the poll this week is the Seminole Chieftains. Still unbeaten at 5-0, Seminole definitely has the power of connection. Dropping out of the poll is the Hilldale Hornets and the Dewar Dragons after both teams suffer losses last week. Now that we have our 5th Power of Connection poll, let's look at some of the notable scores in our area from some of the unranked teams. In Class 5A, McAllister lost a heartbreaker to Ada, 38-17, and drops to a record of 1-4. The Buffaloes will travel to Tulsa Hale this week. In Class 4A, the Salisal Black Diamonds picked up their first district win by beating Stillwell 42-21. The Black Diamonds host Hilldale Friday night. In 3A, the Stigler Panthers rebounded to beat the Roland Rangers 49-12. The Panthers will travel west to face Chakota Friday night. In Class 2A, the Valiant Bulldogs improved to 3-2 after a 48-6 win over the Wilburton Diggers. This week, the Bulldogs travel to the 1-4 Heavener Wolves. Staying in Class 2A, the Antlers Bearcats go to 4-1 and 2-0 in a tough district by beating Hugo 28-14. The Eufaula improves to 3-2 with the win against Hartshorn 41-6, and Haskell beat Dewey 44-16 to improve to a 3-2 as well. In Class A, Quinton came alive and beat the winless Cave Springs Hornets by a score of 40-10. In Class B, Walika beat up on Depew 68-42. The Outlaws will host Strother this week. In Class C, Midway destroyed Bowlegs 56-0 to improve to 4-2, and Destin remains unbeaten at 4-0. Destin had a bye this week and resumes play against Webbers Falls Friday night. That is just a few of the scores from around our coverage area. You can find more at okpreps.com. When we come back, we will have Tahlequah Tiger head coach Brad Gilbert and his thoughts on taking on the number 2 ranked Collinsville Cardinals.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back to the Blitz, and we have Tahlequah Tiger coach Brad Gilbert. And Coach Gilbert, you're in your 7th year head coach there at Tahlequah, and man, just you've had a couple big wins this season. You go to Coweta with a big win there, and you guys were probably an underdog. Let's be honest.
Oh, no question about it.
And then was a big win there, and then you go to Skiatook, and everyone here is kind of crossing their fingers going, man, that's going to be such a good game. And John went up and shot some footage for us, and he's texting us through the game. And turned out to be a great game. And, we talked a little bit off camera, and I said, I bet if I looked, I probably could have seen your smile after that game. That had to have been a great game to win.
It was a great game. Our young men, they played at a high level. They really did. Defensively, that was the best game we'd played all year. And they came out and limited offense. They've been putting up a lot of points to 7 points, and
right.
And so that was a great outcome. And then offensively, we did enough to put enough points on the board to win the football game. But as I told our guys, we're playing for a district championship, and every week that we keep winning, that district championship still is there. So it's no different this week. So it was a great feeling. It really was.
Yeah. Now. Slugfest. I mean, how did you guys come out injury-free? Did you have any bumps and bruises you got to worry about this week?
No, we're really in good shape. I mean, being 5 weeks in, we're pretty healthy, and that's something that you don't see very often. It's unexpected, but anytime you're this healthy this far into the season, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, but also you're going to feel good with where you're at and who you are.
Right. Brian, some of these underclassmen the coach has in his backfield. What do you think about these kids?
Well, we just talked about it. That you were surprised, or you were pleased with how far that your young skill position kids have come.
No question. Coming into this year, we knew our strengths were up front, and we had a lot of young kids playing in very important key positions throughout the skill positions, and we didn't know where they would be at this point in the year. We knew that they would get there at some point. We just didn't know how quickly. And they really have caught on and are playing better than we expected at this point in the year. And it's been great. And I could rattle off a lot of names, but I think the first guy that you got to start with is Day Leathers, and just the season that he's had in 5 games, he's over 1,000 yards. We even put him in crucial situations on defense, and he plays corner, and he's a tremendous player there when we need him there. And but I think it speaks more so about the guys up front and what they've been doing, and we knew that was our strength, and we've kind of been, riding that train a little bit, and it's gotten us to this point.
Right. Coach, you've got a big one this week. Collinsville Cardinals, ranked number 2. We have them in number 2 in the okpreps.com poll. Man, they're a monster.
They are. They are. Coach Jones does a great job. He's built a great program up there. It's funny, he and I were laughing in the offseason. This is our homecoming game.
Right.
And for the past 4 years, we've traded off with homecoming. And we have yet to get them at our homecoming. Went up there last year and got, beat them there at their homecoming. So it's going to be a great challenge. They're ranked number 2 for a reason. They know how to win. They have a culture of winning up there, and they're big and physical, and they're going to make you earn everything that you gain on a Friday night. And so we've been telling our guys, hey, this is what we play for. This is why we've worked as hard as we've worked. And it's not just this week and the previous week in Skiatook. I mean, that's the kind of games you want.
Right.
And that's what we play for. We play for district championships. We play in big football games. And that's kind of the culture we're creating and that we're a part of right now. And so we're excited. We're excited about the opportunity.
And we're excited to get over there. We can't wait for a good game. Okay,
well, we haven't had one all year. Man. You're promising us a good game, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises on that.
You would rather have it be a blowout for you,
There's no question.
No question about
that.
Now, what are you looking for from Collinsville coming into this game?
Well, they're going to pound you offensively. I mean, that's their strength. So defensively, we got to be physically ready, mentally ready more so than physically. I mean, I think it starts with what's between your ears more so than anything else.
Right.
And then defensively, they're just so physical, but they're so active. They move around a lot. They do a lot of really good things defensively with schemes and blitzes off the edge and just putting pressure up on an offense. So we've got to continue to be patient offensively. Don't forget who we are, and we are a running football team.
Right.
That takes their shots in the passing game needs to be efficient when that time is there. So when it comes to Collinsville, they're going to give you everything that they want because they play a physical brand of football, and you're going to earn everything which you gain on a Friday night, and hopefully we gain a lot. But there's no guarantee in that. But that's what you're going to see with Collinsville Cardinals.
Patience.
Patience.
Patience is what the Tigers are
key.
going to have this week. Coach, any last words? I mean, what do you tell your kids going into this game?
Hey, I tell them to relax and have fun. Enjoy the week. It's homecoming, but understand why we're here. We're here to win a football game. And we've done all the things that we've needed to do to get to this point. Well, let's not toss those away by the decisions that we make throughout the course of the week and not being focused. But this is why you're here. This is why you're a Tahlequah Tiger, to play in these games like
Right.
this. It's a big football game. There's going to be a lot of people there. There's no question about that. And hopefully we provide a showing that's I guess is worthy enough for our community and our school, that represents who we are as a whole. And when we leave, win or lose, we're proud of who we are and what we've done.
Most definitely. Brian, any final questions or anything?
No, it's just I like hearing you talk about the evolution of it, making, because you've built this basically from the ground up. Tahlequah hadn't had a lot of success, in the recent past. So just building it up and getting them to where they're used to playing in these big games, I think that's pretty cool.
No, you're right about that. And we've had some big games over the last 3 to 4 years. And, we go to Noble 2 years ago, get our first playoff victory since, I think, 92. And then last year we go on the road and beat Coweta first round of the playoffs.
It's all learning.
So, I mean, it's just a process. It really is. And there's no quick fix. And it's been a grind. But I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by a great group of men and a coaching staff and great group of young men. Not only this group, but the groups that have come before and have kind of bought in and have given everything that they could possibly give, so that we can make this program what it is and hopefully allow the community to be proud of what we show.
Lay that foundation. I know we're sure proud of the Tigers over here. We enjoy seeing them creep up in the polls, and they're number 2 in our Power of Connection poll. So that's no small feat, because we've got some great teams in our Power of Connection, Broken Bow and Beggs and Seminole like that. I guess on our wish list, I'd love to see everybody in our Power Connection poll had like a big playoff at the end of the year, but we can all wish on that. All right, folks, we will be at Northeastern State University campus, Doc Wadley Stadium, this Friday. Game time 7:30. Come out and support the Tigers as they take on the Collinsville Cardinals. If you can't make it, obviously we'll have it on the BravadoTV.com. Watch it on your new iPhones that you're going to buy from Bravado Wireless. We hope you go check out our stores. And we're going to get Coach converted over here pretty quick. We're not going to let him leave till we convert him over. But watch for us. We will be there Friday night. Coach, man, thank you very much. It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
And
Thanks. Good luck,
Coach, we'll see you Friday night. All right, stick around. Brian and I are going to break down a little bit what Coach said and put our thoughts on this Tahlequah Tiger Collinsville game.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
All right, we're back, Brian, and we got to talk to Tahlequah coach Brad Gilbert. And what's your thoughts on the Tigers this week?
Man, he sounded upbeat, positive. He was looking forward to the challenge. I think what was unsaid was he was going to kind of see how his kids responded to playing the number 2 team in state.
Right.
So now, he didn't say it, but if you look in his eyes, he promised us a good game.
Yeah, he did. Collinsville, now they put up some big numbers this far. They're so far this season, they're averaging 39 points a game. They have 3 shutouts defensively, and 2 of those wins were with 6A teams.
Yeah, they beat Bartlesville last week. That's
Right.
a little bit of a neighborhood brawl, but still, man, stepping up from 5A to 6A. And Collinsville's got to be at the bottom end of 5A.
Yeah, they're not a big school.
Yeah,
I mean, not a big 5A school.
Yeah.
But Tahlequah's not either.
No.
They're
by
kind
any
of about the
stretch.
same size.
But they're both smaller than Bartlesville.
Yeah, but 2 of the wins are over 6A. That in itself is pretty impressive. But not to disregard the Tigers or anything. They've played some very good ball this season. We mentioned it. We're talking to Coach Gilbert. They go and they were underdogs. They beat Coweta 47-37 in week 2. Then last week they were underdogs and they beat Skytook 14-7. Even though they were ranked higher than Skytook, they were still underdogs. Let's be honest about it. So.
Yeah, both of those are 2 good teams to beat, and both have great football traditions, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if Skytook is 0-5. You go in there, you're going to have a brawl.
Yep.
Skytook's, God, man, they always have good kids and
tough kids.
Tough kids, very tough kids. They will
doesn't
hit
matter
you.
what sport. Yeah.
Yeah, they put out a lot of linebackers into the next level. So, good ball. And in Collinsville, I don't know what they feed their kids, but they always have the biggest offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So that's why I say they're just a machine. They're just, all those offensive linemen are just huge.
That's a good area, man. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but those kids that go to Union and can't quite make the first team, or that end up needing a place to go.
Right.
Parents go move to Collinsville,
right.
Man, and then they got big offensive linemen.
Right. That's what it is, man. They got some big kids. They've always had big offensive linemen. So, all right. So we're going to hand it off to Demi once again, and she's going to present our Players of the Week and talk about the Bravado Wireless Scholarship Giveaway with OK Prep. So off to Demi.
Thank you, guys. First, I want to let you all know about our Bravado Wireless Scholarship Giveaway before we pick our Players of the Week. Bravado Wireless is giving away 2 scholarships to deserving scholar athletes. Coaches will nominate the players and OK Preps will pick the winners. So, coaches, go to okpreps.com and nominate a deserving boy and girl athlete so they can win a $2,500 scholarship. Bravado Wireless will pay the university of choice of the winners. For more information, go to okpreps.com and be sure to spread the word because it's open to all athletes in all sports. Well, it's time for our 3G, 4G, and 5G Players of the Week. Our 3G Player of the Week is Muskogee Rougher running back Jimmy Coleman. He rushed for 206 yards on 29 carries, 5 touchdowns, and had 3 receptions for 48 yards in a win over Sand Springs last Friday night. Our 4G Player of the Week is Holbert Ryder running back Jacob Bruce. Bruce rushed for 322 yards on a whopping 49 carries. He had 4 touchdowns, 5 tackles, and 2 interceptions in a loss to Gore last Friday night. Our 5G Player of the Week is Okemah Panther running back Corey Ramsey. Ramsey rushed for 359 yards on 16 carries, 7 touchdowns, and 5 2-point conversions in a win over Holdenville last Friday night. Those are some pretty good games that those guys put up. Guys, what are your thoughts?
All right, thank you, Demi. And Brian, I don't think we can really argue too much about the 5G, 4G, and 3G Player of the Week, right?
No, even me, who always wants to argue about something.
Right.
You know.
But 7 touchdowns and 5 2-point conversions.
Man, that's a career for some guys.
Yeah, and
it's a career Al Bundy would be proud of.
Al Bundy, that's an Al Bundy game, what it is.
Yeah, man.
Maybe we should have a little Al Bundy figurine play and give it to him.
The Al Bundy Player of the Week?
The Al Bundy Player of the Week.
The Al Bundy 5G Player of the Week.
5G player. Hey, we got one of your Roughers in there this week.
That's right, man. Mr. Coleman had himself a game. I'm glad to see that one of the Muskogee kids finally got in there.
Right.
So, congratulations.
I think the Roughers are quietly making a march.
Yeah, I don't know quietly because I know Coach Watkins very well thought of. He won those state championships at Guthrie with the Staley kid.
Yep.
So I think he's got it turned around, man. They're on the upswing.
Yep, and he's a great guy. You know, that's one thing even with Coach Gilbert here, we've got some great coaches that come in. We got some just very nice personal coaches. But
Until game night.
Until game night, right?
That's right. That's why we send Demi to talk to him.
Right. They'll be nicer to her than us. But folks, thank you for watching us. We appreciate you watching the Blitz and here at the Bravado TV studios. Like us and share us. But one thing we do want to do is we want to apologize for our technical issues we had last Friday night. We had some leftover gremlins from our equipment getting wet, that rolling monsoon the week before where we got like 6 inches of rain. It kind of messed up some of our streaming electronics, our big electronics antennas we put up in the air, but we promise to have those issues corrected, and we will be streaming live at bravadotv.com. But we did put up the Broken Bow and Hilldale game. In case you missed it, it is on our Facebook page and it's on YouTube, or go to Bravado TV, obviously. And so we've had quite a bit of views since then. But Brian, another successful episode. We've made it out alive. We haven't killed each other yet, and so we're looking forward to this week.
A good game, man. I know we said that every episode.
All right.
But this is the week.
This is the week.
This is the week.
All right. We want you, if you can't be at Doc Wadley Stadium this Friday night, at the NSU campus for the Tahlequah hosting the Collinsville Cardinals. If you can't make it there, we want you to be watching on bravadotv.com. All right, good night, everybody, and we will see you hopefully Friday, either on your new iPhone you got from Bravado Wireless, or
the Android you got it.
or the Android. Yeah, we sell the Androids too. Yeah. All right.
And have a great day if you want to.